We're getting this pipe cleaned. We're making an extension for a valve, all right, for the Warsboro PEX expandable tubing, all right. And the difference is this has one heavy, real deep rim. The other one has three little rims, and they're for the crimp, all right. Okay, now, if you don't know, people don't understand when you're learning, is you don't need a whole bunch of flux in here. Just a good coating, you know. You want to wipe it off after you're done soldering. You want to let it cool, and just let it cool on its own is best, or a slightly damp rag. I mean slightly damp. Just kind of wipe over it, okay, because this flux is like an acid, and that's what causes your plumbing to fail over time. So you just want a nice coating, all right, not a heavy coating, just so it's coated. And then I've already applied it to this side. Okay, you just kind of turn, all right, so kind of spreads it, okay. Now we're going to start soldering here in just a second. Okay, being I'm not using a vise or anything, it's just to throw together. I'm using a flat rock, all right. I'm laying it down on this bolt. And then to hold it up, I'm just taking this drill, but you can use anything underneath, okay. That way the weight don't cause it to drop down. Okay, then the next thing, I'm going to make sure this is screwed in tight on both sides. Okay, then I'm going to set this on here. Let's see what you can see. All right, now we're going to get this going. All right, we're getting this hot. I'm heating one side, and by heating one side, and then we test it here. All right, it's not nearly hot enough. This will pull it all the way around. Now when I get it hot and it starts to melt the solder and take it in, I'm going to move it forward, okay, yet still keeping it hot. And the flux acts as a lubricant that draws and pulls the solder in to the joint. And that's why you want to put flux on there. It doesn't take a lot. It's getting close. All right. It's getting really close here. I can feel it. It's starting to drag. When your solder starts to drag here, you know it's getting ready to melt. There we go. There it is. See? Now I'm just going to bring this around here. And you figure you want about about 3/4 of an inch of solder. If it's a 3/4 inch pipe, you roughly want 3/4 of an inch of solder. Okay. And then you can kind of do what I'm doing here. You want to rake off the bottom. All right. Then you get a slightly damp rag. You get a slightly damp rag and you wipe around the joint, and just let it cool on its own. Then you can take a wet rag and wipe it down, and then you take a dry one or a dry part of it and you dry it off. It's perfectly clean. 40 years later, you'll have no issues with that pipe. The reason why a lot of these pipes fail, copper, because people are not cleaning the joints. They solder it up and they walk away, and it's got flux all over it, which is an acid that slowly eats away the copper. And that's what causes that. So keep your copper wiped off and clean. It'll last you 40, 50 years. Okay? Let's look at these windmills. On my live stream from last night, this small turbine wasn't turning, but today I'll show you the tree and then this turbine. See, that's turning right now really well. So is the other one. All right. Now look at the tree. That tree is moving pretty good. Well, last night it was barely moving, and the only turbine was spinning was this one, the 6-bladed turbine. The 3-bladed turbine takes about a 15-mile-an-hour wind to turn. And so the bigger bang for the buck and more voltage and amps is your 6-bladed, and it takes far less wind, like two mile-an-hour winds will turn it. All right, versus a 3-blade. But today you're seeing it working. Yesterday it was not, and again you can see the tree. It's moving pretty good. Where yesterday it was barely moving. All right, and that one's turning. Let's a little update on that. Okay, let's get back to this. Okay, we're heating this one side. It's already warm from this other side. All right, you can start to smell it. It starts to smoke. When it starts smoking, it's getting really close. And then when your solder drags, you can feel it kind of grabbing, you know it's getting ready. All right, if you notice I'm heating one side now, you can, to speed up the process, you can heat this other side. You can heat the pipe, heat the other side a little bit. All right, it's starting to smoke. It's probably getting close to taking the solder. And if your pipe's 3/4 inch, the rule of thumb is you want about 3/4 inches of solder length to go into your joint. If it's a 1/2 inch pipe, you figure about at least a 1/2 inch of solder. Okay, so a 1/2 inch of pipe, you figure 3/4 to a 1/2 inch of solder, and on a 3/4 inch soldering pipe, your pipe, you want at least 3/4 to an inch of solder length to go into your joint. Here we go. Here it is. It's taking it in now. All right, there it is. And that should be efficient. It just flashed right around the edge, and that tells me that it should be full. But just to give it, just for double measures, good measure, you know, bam, but that should be perfectly fine. And now I can take a very lightly damped rag, lightly damped, and just kind of wipe around it. You do not want to take a wet rag and cool it off. You do not want to dip it in water. It will cause your solder to crystallize, cause a leak, or cause it to break loose later and have a leak. Okay? And this is a slightly damp rag. I'm just going to very carefully, you can hear it sizzle. Okay? I don't know if you can hear that. Okay, but it's all right, and that should be good enough for the moment until it completely cools. Okay, now I also like cleaning this out on the inside. Okay,
is that hot?
Warm. Okay. And you can even take water and run water through here. All right. You can see the copper, you can see the solder around the edges, so you know it's good. Completely secured.
Let me see that one.
All right.
Put that up.
And that will last for years to come. Now, this goes on the union. All right. That goes into the end of a union. And this edge wasn't allowing it to go through the plastic on the union. So Joe put this on a motor, spun this, took a metal file, and cut this edge down so that it would now fit inside and be a perfect fit. All right, but this goes to a union. Now this piece for this PEX nipple will now go through it and it'll be perfect fit. Now to solder this. All right. Now when you don't know, you think you got to heat this up all around and all over, but no, you can move it, you know. Catch this piece slipping in, catch the outside, but this heat will transfer all the way around. All right. Now then you just hold it in one spot, and because of the flux will pull it in all the way around. All right. Now it's smoking pretty good here. It's getting ready to take. Okay. Starting to go, not quite. There we go. Here it is. Okay, let's get to this side. I'm just putting extra in here because of the groove. Alright. And we are just making sure, because of the groove, that it's going to take it. Fill it all the way up. Okay. So because of this being and going in this groove, I am really adding a whole lot more than what I would have been normally. Okay, way more. Okay, I see it dripping out, so that's good. Okay, that's a good same thing right there. All right, there you have it. Let this cool down, and we will be hooking this up. So again, because of that groove and its inset, I just wanted to fill that groove up real good so it's nice and solid, or I would have never put that much in there. Like I said, if your pipe is a 1/2 inch, you want about a 1/2 inch length of solder, and if you have a 3/4, you want a 3/4 inch of solder, maybe an inch, give or take, but it doesn't take a lot. All right, bye for now. Bye. We'll catch you here real soon. Stay tuned. Stay tuned. Okay, there's that extension that we soldered together. All right, it's going to this shower mixing valve here. Okay, and then the PEX, all right, is going to connect here on this end, like it's connected here on this end. All right, and so we will be connecting this end, and there's the extension. All right. Now this is a Milwaukee M12, okay, and I'm not sponsored, but how this works is you pull this and pull this handle, it's open and it spreads, see, and it will turn. All right, you see the turn. See the turn. That way it doesn't wear this tube here, because you put it right here inside the tube with this sleeve. This plastic sleeve, see the lip in there? That's the stop. That goes right over the edge. Okay, now I'm getting ready to tighten this down here. All right, we'll get that tight. Stay tuned. Now, this is the beauty of PEX. You don't need 45s, you don't need 90s. That is a 3-way there. But if you got to make a turn, look at this. Look at that. Let's follow that. Oh yeah, and we comes on up to this fitting. We're going to expand this one right here. So let's do that. Okay, let's make sure this is all the way down. Okay, it's all the way in. All right. Now, this goes in there, and this will expand out. All right. There we go. Now, let's get this doggone jolt. Hold this. It's been in position. All right, there we go. All right. It's right up against it, and that's where you want it, just like that. All right, it closes, but at slow rate. But if you take too much time, it can affect and start closing up. And you don't want to start playing with opening and closing it. Okay. That assures it not having a leaking at the fitting here at the joint. All right, that's nice and tight there. It's down a tad, but that should be okay.
All right, you want me to go turn on the water?
Yeah. Okay, so here we have it. Look at the bins. No fittings. The beauty of PEX. What a deal. There we go. Look at that. Okay, look at the water. It's filling slowly. Okay, here it is. The beauty of PEX. Look at that. This is a three-way. I read a T. And that's going to the cold. Alright, then it swings around. The hot water heater is going to be sitting here. There's going to be a propane hot water heater here. And there is the electric solar panel, solar powered hot water heater in the other room.
It's on.
Oh yeah, no, it's filling slowly.
I'm gonna open that.
Now we got water running. There it is. We got water moving now. Can you hear that? Mixing valve for the shower. It's water coming in, going into the house. What a deal. Okay, you can see the water movement here, going through the pipes, filling. How cool is that? There it is, traveling through. Can you hear it? Pretty cool. And no leaks. And that solar hot water heater is working. We'll be telling you how that solar hot water heater, how you hook it up. So stay tuned for that. Joe MacGyver's taking this little electric hot water heater, and he has it hooked up straight to his solar panels. Now, these are no longer connected. He's going straight to his heating element, and it's producing some really nice hot water. Then on the other side where we're working, where he will be supplementing it with a propane water heater as it goes into the house. Okay, so this is producing how many gallons, Joe?
10.
10 gallons of hot water that's being heated by straight from the solar panels straight to this.
Yep.
Now, what process, how did you go about doing that, Joe?
I hooked them up and parallel. Positive to positive, negative to negative. I have 6 panels hooked together.
Okay, so the panels have negative and positive leads.
Yep. And then it comes in and goes straight into the heating element. I haven't figured out the switch yet to cut it off.
The relay.
Yeah. Once it gets hot, it cuts itself off and then goes from there. That's pretty much it.
So this is direct.
Yeah.
Now how do you shut that on and off?
You don't.
So
Sun goes down.
Sun goes down, it turns off,
Yep.
Water stays warm.
Yeah. But what is it? Next morning you can feel this and it's still warm, so.
Alright, so this valve, this pressure relief valve, is water coming out at look. Alright. That water's still warm the next morning, and it's been fairly cold around here. Okay, so if you were to explain it to somebody, if you were explaining this process to me, how would you tell me to go about doing it?
Hook your solar panels all positive to positive, all negative to negative.
All the negative wires go to the same wire, and all the positive wires are connected to the same wire. Then you connect your extension cord or your lead.
Well, the heating element doesn't care how it's hooked because technically a ground loop.
It's a ground loop. Okay, but now on the package it says 240, 220, and so tell us about that.
I have it right now. I have a DC element in there right now. Where's the other one? There's another one around here that says 220, and you can hook it up to DC and it will still work.
And it's working for you.
Yeah, no problems.
Okay, so there you have it. And if you have any questions, hit up Joe McGiver. That's MacGiver, Joe McGiver. And here is his battery bank. Now this hot water heater is not operating off the battery bank at all. It's straight from the solar panels to the heating element. Okay, now will this come on?
Yep, as well.
All right, and we have, oh, wrong button. All right, right now he has volts, 235 volts. He has 1.66 amps and power facts of 0.832. And that's what he's operating on. And he says this power jack has been operating for him 24/7, 7 days a week for how long, Joe?
Almost 2 years.
2 years. And he's not sponsored by Power Jacks. Power Jack wants to sponsor him. Great. But and today these are running about
6 something.
about 600 and something. Is that eBay?
Yeah.
eBay. All right. So we're signing out. Thanks for being a part of my community. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe, share, comment, put in a playlist, and like if you think it's good enough. So bye for now, and look forward to hearing from you. God bless and never give up, because there's always a way, always.